And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Alien Spaceship stream. You can be watching from anywhere around the country or the world. And I really appreciate every single one of you coming to you from the Spaceship Studios from a galaxy far, far away. And switching over to the other screen. Let's go here. All right. Hello, everybody. It's Alien Spaceship, and hope everybody's having a good day, good evening, good afternoon, wherever y'all are. And we are going to be reacting to some things, talking about all kinds of. Oh, I was looking at something for a second, so here I am. So, all kinds of trending topics. We are going to be getting into that right now, and I was looking into some more alien interviews. That was something that we have been looking at, different interviews about the different conspiracies that we've discussed, and I find them fascinating. And hello there, Aaron. And I remember yesterday, we saw you here yesterday, and you were saying about your birthday being today. Happy birthday to you. And hope that you're having a good day. So, at this point, what we're going to do is go to the other window and do this right here. There he is. That's the sleepy pirate. Right there. All right. Now going to Port Royal, and here we go. Now this, okay, it looks like this server is running. That is good. Uh-huh. I thought it was a joke. Uh-huh. I was thinking, that's what I was thinking, it had to be a joke, but I certainly wanted to tell it to you because I like playing with your games. All right. And you did it in such a way where it's like it could be. I knew it was going to be soon. Okay, I knew it was going to be soon, probably in the next month. But I was like, or some other time this month. I was just, but you know what? I want to do what I must do. Anytime there's a birthday celebration, I must assist because I seem to be of the birthday mascot everywhere. Yes, yes. I have a lot of thunder to go around, so uh, that is fine with me. Unlike a Thor, I have so much thunder that Thor has to borrow it from me, and I even took his job. So I'm the alien Thor. Yeah, yeah, the narcoleptic pirate. You see, right now he's running rounds and doing jumping jacks. Right here. Okay, and he is he is not in a pirate port right now. He's not in a pirate port right now. He is at the anti-pirate port. It's where you see there's hostile people here. The only pirate port is Tortuga. Right. So that is something of interest to him. See, this is Fort Charles from one of the earlier Charles, probably one or two. This one's named after. All right, going this way. Okay, yeah, this was a scene from the movie. By the way, yeah. Okay, and let's go in here. So this is a separate room. This is an office that he's not allowed into. Let's see, like, he'll go and try to fight him. Let's see. Okay, the sword isn't even working. Oh, now it's working. Okay, good. Oh, yeah, yeah. This is the summer vibe game. Okay, yeah, certainly summer vibes. Okay, we have right here the coast, the coastline, and yeah, it's just look at that water. It's a nice like vacation in the tropics right there. All right, and these are some NPCs from a Timu right there and Sheen. Okay, this is where the bell is. Yeah, he has a nightcap on. Okay, he's whipping out this pirate right here. Okay, taking him down. All right, so yeah, this is the we'll call it Fort Aaron. It's Fort Charles. We'll call it Fort Aaron. Okay, there's a side area of this that I didn't really realize that was there at this fort. Or going down this long path. Yeah, so this is the game of Eternal Summer. It has lots of palm trees and other trees because some places are just stuck in winter. It's like the winter is staying rent free in some people's areas. Where I am, I it was warm for me today. Yeah, let the guy sleep right now. By the way, Aaron, I got some sleep last night. I It was dark. It's been a while. I mean, there's some days I didn't even go to bed, or I took naps for a couple hours and woke back up. But this time I got sleep last night. It's been a long time, but I did it, and I got up at a normal time. It just and when I was exploring different parts of YouTube, I was staying up for like days, and I got into some really crazy conversations with random people. It was something else. It was cool. Yes, I did. All right, this is a teepee. This is like kind of like a teepee hut right here. Okay, so yeah, this is a part of it's like where the homeless encampment is. Yeah, I remember because there's an electronic candle in my room, and the electronic candle was on, and it was nice and ambient in there. Really, it was really nice, really cool. Okay, all right, and okay, and I didn't even know this lady existed, but she's able to. She sells potions for healing. All right, okay, and hello, Moki. Good evening to you. Welcome to the stream. All right. So anyway, there's parts of this game I never saw before. Like I saw it recently, but when I was playing it through years, I didn't see it. So yeah, this other area, I think there's some more trees. It's a little like a courtyard. Shout out to the angels in chat. Angels of the spaceship. Oh, you finally got. Yeah. He got some thunder in there. Yeah. I remember last year there was uh, there was a dude who I'm friends with, a dude, and he was telling a Princess Dot it was his birthday during my birthday celebration, and she was like, "Well, celebrate your birthday tomorrow, okay?" And it's Alien's birthday today. And then he said his birthday is soon. We were both like, "Bruh." So yeah, there's enough birthday thunder to go around for everybody. Anything interesting happened today beside Trump saving Iran? Ah, yeah, yeah, because Iran, there's like a cultic regime there that took over, and he's helping save them. So yeah, I like what he did, and people could have a republic democracy, believe in whatever they want to, and do what they gotta do. And this is Saturday for you Americans, America. Yeah, so it's my day. I had a very inquisitive day. Oh. Mary said, "Hello, America." Yes. Yes. Yeah, Smokey, she's okay. I talked to her about 2 months ago, and she told me she's okay, and she was hoping that I was all right, and I told her that we were all, back then we're all okay, and I was thankful for writing me. So she's all right. She's just been having other things going on. But yeah, I hope she's all right too. But she'll sometimes she rewatches the streams. That's something she does. Yeah. Uh, she was yeah, she was awesome. A Princess Dot. She's one of our chat friends, who is a great spaceship crew member. She hosted the alien spaceship birthday party of 2025. It was historical. And this time we had Moki and Aaron host it. Moki did a amazing. Yes, T Dot. Yes, Princess T Dot. Yeah, I call her Princess Dot though. Yes, Moki did an amazing, magnificent job with the 2026 celebration, along with other things too. And Moki and Aaron, and Mermaid too. Yeah, today I got sunshine. I got up at a more of a normal time, and I watered the garden plants, and they're getting big. It looks like they're doing good. Oh, that's very interesting. I didn't know that. That's close. Yes, she was very nice. She was very very kind. Yeah. Yes, yes, I agree, Moki. I do think there was some health issues. Yes. All right, and today I did some stuff with the bank, and I saw the news about Iran. Was planning some content, etc. And here I am. I don't know about what's going on with Judy. I've not seen her in a while. I'll see if I could find out what's going on. All right, but uh, I've not heard anything from her. But I hope she's all right. Yeah, Cecil, that dude was cool. Yeah. Oh, he would. He was very generous with to me. He was a nice chatter. Always a gentleman. Oh, thank you, Eugene, for hitting the thumbs up and saying hello. Good evening to you. Thank you for stopping by, buddy. All right, all right. This is Olive Garden. It's not the Olive Garden, but it's a flower garden. Shout out to Eugene. Cool people. All right. All right. All right. So, yeah, this is the Elizabeth Swan's mansion. Yes. Right back at you, Eugene. Facts. And Aaron's asking Mermaid how is her how is she doing? Yeah. And so yeah, the sleepy pirate is now wandering around out of the garden. He's gonna go on his ship probably. Okay, here we are. It is the back on the ship. We're gonna go to hopefully we're going to go to one of the islands. Scared. Yeah, give the yeah definitely need a break for a chat. Definitely. Okay. Okay, now we are sailing right to Cutthroat Island. Okay, all right, we're now at Epstein's Island. I'm scared. Whoa, that's some zombies on Epstein's Island. Well, that's some crazy looking. That looks like an interesting evening. Oh, kind of like a evening fog. Looks like in the game. Yep, kind of foggy looking. All right, let's test this out. All right, we're gonna continue. Hilarious, Aaron. Hilarious. Glad you're doing better. Oh, that is a nice. Okay, the moon looks even better now. They did something else with the graphics where it looks kind of like a fog under the moon. Oh, that's really cool, right there. All right, there we go. Taking it the Epstein. These are all on the Epstein client list. All right, all of them. All these zombies, they're from the Epstein files. Yep, take them all out. Yeah, I remember earlier. Uh, that was pretty crazy earlier, where we were talking about just making sure everything's going right. Okay, good. Okay, everything should be working. Yeah, so earlier, I remember before Moki was telling me about the this AI robots that the Chinese are making that could do martial arts, and it's like over here there's people that are doing like the Epstein stuff, but over in China they're making these like Terminator type robots that could do kung fu and different martial arts. Uh, it looks like the West needs to catch up. If but then again, these robots, it's getting more and more information in them. They're much more advanced than the ones from the '80s from the Terminator movie. So it's scared. Exactly, Aaron. Scared. I think she is over in the Rum Island. She's hiding in the cellar in Rum Island. Because in the Rum Island, there's a giant underground cellar that you can go into. And Aaron asks Amoki, "What did you do today?" Interesting to know. Yeah. So it's like I go up there, and like these are winter plants. Like these are like winter spinach, and I knew that would get warm. I knew it would, but that was okay because I grow stuff in like when it's in winter, and then it becomes cooler, then it becomes warmer, and then you have the plants that are warm. So that's what we were doing today. We were doing stuff with. I said the spinach is getting bigger and bigger, and so is the daikon. So, oh, I also got broccoli growing. Oh, that's nice, nice. All right. Well, I know this thing isn't going to go out without a well that easily. Well, that's not too. It's better to just use a tonic and to just take this thing back out and blast him. That's what the best thing to do is. Ah, thank you. I copied the link. Okay. Oh, that's good to know. That's good to know. Okay. So we're going to swim in here for a moment. Okay, let's go this way. Yeah, bring it on, Aaron. Bring it on, Aaron. I need all the links that I need. We need the weirdest links on Earth. I'm scared. Okay, this is something good to talk about in the stream tomorrow. Facts. Give you all a preview about it. On February 27, 2026, Bill Clinton testified under oath before the House Oversight Committee. He had been held in contempt of Congress a month earlier for refusing to subpoena. It was his first time a former president had been compelled to testify before Congress. He went through my brief acquaintance with Epstein ended years ago and crime came to light. I just believe anything that sounds outrageous. If it sounds normal, I yell liar straight to jail. Right. Okay. And I don't know why this random bag had to fall for no reason out of nowhere. Okay. Yesterday, Bill Clinton lied under oath, federal crime, a felony, and approved document by document. Every quote below is verbatim. Clinton told Congress my brief acquaintance with Epstein. Document 147 personal messages between Clinton and Ghislaine, women convicted of sex trafficking. These are not business emails, they were charity logistics. Explicit message between former president and convicted sex trafficker. Clinton to Maxwell. You are my pimp, but at the same time, you are my lover. Clinton to Maxwell. I like naughties. Clinton to Maxwell. I want to spank bottoms tonight. Clinton to Maxwell. I did the same old blonde last night. Well, it looks like Clinton is lying through Steve. Wow. Thank you, Moki. I will continue to look through that post. Okay. Yeah, it's like when something is too believable, it has to be false. Because there's no way that it's true. It has to be of something more out of this world. Okay, let's get in with some venom. Oh, that is the wrong window. Okay, let's go here. Ah, hey Eugene, good to see you. Yeah, that's how I feel about these people that are lying under oath and they're saying they don't know Epstein or anything about what's going on, but they do. You know, they know what they're talking about. Well, it looks like this undead Cyclops is not. Looks like he's frozen in peril. Facts. All right. Yeah, but I definitely think that Clinton lied because I've been through those files for hours, and yeah, it's these people talk like they're best friends with each other, with with Epstein. And with Epstein, he and Clinton were very close. There's pictures of them together and swimming in pools, and there's like I'd say most of the pictures. I don't know about most because there's millions of pictures, but a lot of the pictures in there are more commonly of Clinton with Epstein doing stuff. So they knew each other pretty well. All right, this is the sleepy jungle right here. Scared. All right, so this jungle has a giant tree in it. It has. This is one of the part of the islands where it was real secluded, where they have some more people that are in the files that are over here. All the tombstones are witnesses to. Yeah, very dark graves. Very dark graves. Okay, and yeah, that's a banana tree. We're going to fight this enemy right here. Okay, here's the sword. Oh yeah, pointing. There we go. Oh, it looks like he's trying to climb, but he can't. Okay, he got up. Okay. Yeah, this is a ledge that usually leads to another cave type level, but it might be something kind of hidden within the mountain. Okay. Ah, there's the waterfall. Yeah, with. Oh, hello, Anna. Great to see you. Shout out to you, Anna. Okay, Anna says, "Hey guys, just saying, hey, missed you all so much. Just things going on. Watched some of Corey and seen many of my peeps when I can look at it, chat, but haven't been able to chat. Hopefully soon. Love and miss you all. Try to get back in later." Oh, okay, Anna. Thank you for letting us know. We miss you too. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, lots of lies going on. These people aren't going to talk about what they really were doing, and because they know that their goose has already been cooked, and the public has already decided that. And I think that was a positive thing to to yeah, a positive thing for society to agree upon. Yeah. Okay, so that's like an oasis, and we're going outside the oasis this way. And Anna says Alien Aaron Mokes and Eugene with a heart face. Oh, that's very sweet. Very sweet. Yeah. I'm in of one of the Epstein Islands in the game. Scared. Okay. And okay, we have the moon up high. That's good. Hey, now we're gonna go bounce over to one of the other islands. Okay, and now heading out this way, heading out to sea. And Eugene says hello to Anna. That's cool. Awesome. Okay, and now we are heading out with our ships to take out some more. Okay. All right, this is the iron wall right here. Going to take out this. And Aaron says, "Oh, hey Anna, we miss you. I hope all is well." Yeah. Okay, so I sunk two of these Timu, some of the Epstein ships that are trying to do some messed up shipments. Okay, so I'm gonna be turning over to this other direction to go take out these by King's Head. King's Head is a base where lots of the soldiers and troopers go in that area. Okay. All right, and going here. Okay, now it's foggy. See, Mermaid and I talk about and foggy nature, and that's really cool. And so the game is foggy at the moment. It looks like it's early in the morning, and it's uh, it's foggy. Well, actually, it's raining. So now it's even raining. Yes, it looks like just like the oh no, it's still nighttime. It's just it's raining at night. That's a really nice sight. It looks like the Bikini Bottom when it's raining, uh, like yeah, like on top of the outer shores. Okay, and then that is sinking. Okay, I'm going to go and attack one of the zombie ships. Okay. Yeah, the Epstein files are so much correspondence with people from all over emails, text messages, and a lot of times he has secretaries that talk to different people for him. And yeah, I was thinking under oath they wouldn't really be transparent, so it's always nice when that's exposed. Okay. Okay, Anna says she missed everyone. She has to call a sis about the other sis, and she'll be back. Okay, well, thank you, Anna, for letting us know. We do miss you. And Moki says hi, Anna. That's very sweet. Okay, Mokes is right there. I'll say it. So Moki Anna says hello. All right. So there you go. Uh, she now knows. All right. Now it's sinking the Epstein ships. Now I gotta tell you about this movie. So one thing, the graphics in this game keeps on improving better and better, and I really appreciate that with what they're doing with the game, the developers. So with these developers, But the old game, the original game from Disney, didn't have rain. It didn't have stuff like that in it. And I downloaded the Toontown one, which I'll have to like install it. I also did get a Steam account so I could play games from there. That's a like a global of like streaming a game app. People can look at stuff from there, and I would play the ones that play on this machine. Like Subnautica looks cool. Okay, and okay, firing at will. All right, we plundered that ship. That's good. So, in the movie, there's a scene where the ocean is governed over like by the Flying Dutchman to harvest souls to bring them to wherever they're supposed to go, and then Davy Jones chose not to. He had a love affair with the sea, and then the sea told him, didn't do what she wanted him to do, and then he became rogue. So then you have the East India Company. A lot of the themes in this game mirrors the movie. Now, the original game, which was inherited by this game, did not reflect what the movie was exactly. The movie's universe. It almost seemed like a different universe, but with the same characters. But this game now synchronizes with the older version of it, with the movie, because that's why they have the Davy Jones is in it, the Kraken's in it. It's now part of the same universe as the movies, which is something cool. The most recent pirate movie was not canonical to the other movies because the captain Jack is a pirate a little bit earlier than he's supposed to be a pirate. But as I said, there's ways of making it canonical, but it still wasn't completely canonical to what the original film was. And I was just kind of like, these people even watched the movie? Like who? What is this? Unless it was some sort of plot twist that they intended. So, and I think that universe of the pirate movies could have been focused on more than it was in our timeline, because there could have been prequels and more sequels sooner. But instead they focus more on Star Wars, and a lot of people think that Star Wars got messed up by them. So yeah. Still, I think it's a very good franchise. Okay, we're now going to be landing at this other island. Oh, they got some really gnarly clouds. Wow. Looks like there's yellow in them. Yeah, that's some epic clouds right there. Makes the sea look more spacious. Okay, and now all right, now going to be ramming right into this ship right here. Okay, now that has sunk. We're going to switch over to the Monarch and sink that one. Rum is a staple of this game and a staple of the entire pirate ecosystem. You say, alien, why is this? The reason why is that they carried it. The navies would carry it on their cargo ships. It was better than water and wine and other types of drinks that would spoil on the sea. So they would put lime in it a lot of times, or other fruits, and have it as a way to fuel themselves. And now, when you're on the high seas, you don't want to be too intoxicated, I guess, because you might fall overboard. But they were able to manage themselves, especially when they got into the ports. Pirates didn't exactly save their dice, they would throw them. Play entertainment games, so they would go and like plunder a ship and then go out to spend the money and get supplies and go back out to sea. Hey, now orbiting the island again, the second island going to. Okay, they got me pretty good there, but I'm actually going to get them. Like that, like so. Okay. Oh, now we got the bounty hunter that's lurking around. Okay, now docking. I made it pretty far. I didn't realize that. I got lots of plunder. And more than I thought. Okay. Turquoise, some silver coin. Okay, white, purple, accented ostrich. That is pretty epic. Alright, let's see about which hat. That's a Twilight Ostrich hat. And we're going to maybe switch this out with another, some plain shirt. Let's get rid of that. Okay, Night Hunter Repeater. We don't really need that. Okay. Wheat, silver, cotton, and some cotton bar and some copper bars. Alright, so this is the island where all the crabs are. Okay. Yeah, okay, we got some more from the client list that are here. We're going to throw some of this at them. So for Iran, I wish the people of Iran freedom and justice, and they can have a better country than they did before. Oh, looks like that dude's coming back at me. Okay, going to... The best one in this situation is the voodoo doll. When fighting that enemy. I've fought him a couple of times. Okay, those are the crabs. Yeah, that is the sun peering out that way. Kind of running through the green landscape and the trees themselves. This is a little bit of a mini forest. I ran. They had that prince who is returning. Maybe they'll have him return as a leader. We'll see what he does. And although the regime before this one that was there wasn't really that great, so I hope that they can completely reform themselves, because it's like they're supposed to do better last time, but they didn't really do that well. So they could maybe have a different country that's more stable than before. A lot of people from Iran seem to not like what their government is doing. All right, and this is a giant crab to fight. That's an engraved saber. All right, now the pirate is now looking for a separate ship to go on. So the way that they do this in the game is that they have these little rafts that they put in to these little rafts right here, kind of like a lifeboat, and you can go out to shore with this little ship. It's like daylight, but it's raining. This is a very tiny little dingy ship. Similar to the pirates of Somalia, they'll have little boats like this. Like a little speed vessel. He got him right there. Power-ups on this ship is just a little bit not like the other ones. And I'll say it's the fastest ship that I have piloted. It's like a little speedboat. Like a little speedboat. But it's not completely good at taking a lot of damage. This ship's more like a hit and run type ship. Okay. At some points in the movie, they use rum for burning, making fire, or explosives. So it seems to have like an eclectic usage. But yeah, there's on Rum Runner's Island. There's lots of rum there in the cellars. Okay. This is a Navy ship and an East India ship. So the East India ship is a company that's like governing over the region. It's like the Amazon of its day, and the Navy is the government. Okay. Now, once you go through the tail, and then get it. All right. Going to ram into him. And the cannon shot out forward instead of behind, so we couldn't get it. Yeah, because it's called the ogre. You know, an ogre is like a giant from mythology, and with the ogre from mythology, is basically a Nephilim type being, and they're using it in the games to call it one of the certain ships that. Okay, so got some of the plunder. Now we're gonna go to the pirate port of Tortuga. We've not been here today yet. Oh, well, it's supposed to dock, and now it's officially docked. Okay. The concept of the undead pirates come from the first movie when they first discovered that and they were on the Black Pearl. But what they did, so they didn't incorporate that into the game, but in this game, they're just randomly just disturbingly just being a parasite and feeding off the land. Like imagine like going to one of these places and there's just some skeletons hanging out and doing their thing. It's like whoa. Now at this pirate port, there's no hostility towards pirates. There's no navy or anybody that could cause an issue. The only one there is a navy is Port Royal. That's where a lot of the navy in King's Head. Okay. Here is the labyrinth of greenery, and that's where the swamps are, too. Okay. Yeah, this is a tavern where they all play their cards. Historically, they would go to these taverns to try to go and get loot, lots of loot, and they would just spend it all on gambling or drinks, and then go back out to sea. There was no investing or saving for them at that time. Now the facts about buried treasure comes from one incident of one of them doing that, but it wasn't something that was widespread. It's something much in media has been romanticized. My buried treasure, someone in the back might say, well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I'm scared. So everybody's just having their different drinks, and yeah, but that's where you would go to do poker and those necessities. And when it does this, it means the server is being a little bit Timu right there, a little bit Timu. Well, it looks like it may have crashed. Not the ship itself, but the. Okay, look, it looks like it's 100 now, so maybe now it'll load where it's supposed to go. Okay. Well, that took about a moment, but it's loading now. Or it looks like it's about to. We've been to the doctor's room before. We're going to now go out here. Okay, that is the main part of the island where everybody will come and hang out. Because a lot of times they have people here. They'll all just be like in a cluster, rather than spread out in different regions. It's been about a moment since we've done the fishing part of the game. Let's see. Now, the fish. Waiting to its thing and for it to load. Here we go. Okay, so at this point, they will come. It's not completely there yet to where you'd be able to take out the really big fish deep, but you could definitely get some more lower level fish. Right, and now you got some more fish coming. Now, in the game itself, there was, I mean, the movie itself, there was a scene about some fishermen on the water, but the game didn't really focus much on fishing. This was a concept that they added to the game later on. By the way, this is some pretty cool colors of the fish. Very cool colors. Okay. K lures stolen. Pirate's gonna go try that again. And as the higher levels go up, you're able to possibly get a fishing boat and go out to the sea to go catch more fish. This is kind of like a game within a game. Ah, it's very yellow, by the way. Very yellow. This island is hoarding all the heat in spring for itself and not spreading it up north, which is it must change. Yep. That was the wrong thing, actually. I'm going to just go back here to where I was originally. The way I can access the controllers. All right. Okay. Now reeling it back in because the it looks like the line went all over the place a little bit. Okay, now this is more closer to the surface. The yellowfish I think are easiest to catch, but the other ones are a little bit more farther down. But there still can be issues with these. Yeah, you see. Okay. Okay, 1 gold. That's cool. Okay, and this is going to, that is the light. The light. This is light orange. Let's see. All right, now I'm gonna be exiting this part. Okay, go into one of the other places. Oh, it looks like there's a royal fleet. See, we'll meet up with them right there. Not while looting. Okay, let's see. That didn't work either. Oh, well. Game's a little bit stuck, but we'll unstuck it. All right. Acting a little bit. Oh, okay. Brown boots. Ah, yeah. Okay. Jolly Bones or the Golden Skull. It'll probably be good to exit it out then. Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit. Game's gonna have to shut down. Game crashed. That's what happened. Yeah, force it. All right. That was the game for the game part, and the game it crashed, and it and we played it for quite a while. So we're gonna go back to this area. Okay. Yeah, this is Serpo in the background behind me. Talk about, let's see some updates about the news. Let's go here and shout out to all of you watching, listening, hanging out with us. Okay. Looks like there's lots of updates going on here with the news. Okay, so the CNT.com releases new video of the U.S. strike on Iran. Okay. Who's going to lead after Iran after this? Okay. Multiple Iranian state media outlets have confirmed the deletion death of Iran's supreme leader after U.S. Israel said he would that he was killed in a joint strike. Who can replace him remains unclear. The veteran leader does not have an officially declared an heir. The elected body of 88 senior clerks, known as the Assembly of Experts, will select the next leader. Some of the contenders of the position, according to the experts, analysts, the second son of Gahamini Mojadaba is known to wield significant influence and has strong links with the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, as well as Bazij, volunteer paramilitary force, but farther to son succession is frowned upon in the Shiite clerical establishment, and an additional hurdle in the Mojaba is not the high-ranking clerk, has no official role in the regime. There's ways how the succession is passed on. Because it's kind of like a monarchy base. It's kind of like a monarchy, but it isn't. That's how they're basing it. It'd be interesting to see who is their new leader, because the regime is still there at the moment. Algerzia, 67, a lesser known figure of the. So these are people that might hypothetically take over as leadership in Iran. A lesser known figure of Arafai is an established clerk and confidant of K. He currently serves as deputy chairman of the Assembly Experts and has been member a powerful guardian council which vets election candidates and laws passed by parliament. He also is head of Iran's supplementary system. Arafi isn't known to be politically heavily weight, doesn't have close ties to security establishment. Mohammed Bahadi, early 60s, a hardline clerk of the member of the Assembly Experts, represents the most conservative wing of the clerical establishment, according to the Iran Wire. An activist outlet strongly opposed to the West and believes the conflict between believers and the infidels is inevitable. He currently heads the Islamic Science Academy in the holy city of Quran. Okay. You have various people of various different extremes. Some of them more than others that are interpreting that could take over the leadership there. Okay, Hassan, the grandson of the Islamic founder, giving him the religious revolutionary legitimacy. He serves as the custodian mausoleum, but hasn't held public office and appears to have little influence over the country. And Brasheri, a senior clerk closely linked to the instructions institutions that manage succession, particularly in the Assembly of Experts, where he serves as first deputy chairman. Brasheri said he had been close to Kay, but has low profile dramatically and isn't known to have strong ties to the IRG. The IRGC. At 12, although we already knew this, 12 minutes ago, the Iranian state media confirmed the death of the supreme leader. Trump says he knows who he wants to lead Iran. So there are some good candidates to lead Iran after he announced the deletion killings of supreme leader Khamenei. Asked by CBS News in the phone interview who he thought was in charge, and Trump said, "I know exactly who, but I can't tell you." When pressed whether someone is Iran, he preferred to assume leadership. The president said, "Yes, I think so. There are some good candidates." Okay. Right. U.S. ambassadors and the United Nations, Mike Waltz, sought to justify the Israeli strike against Iran during UN Council meeting Saturday by citing a board catalog of Iranian aggression toward the U.S. and its allies over the course of many years. And got some new update right there. Let's see. From a minute ago, Iranian TV announcer in tears while delivering news of Supreme Leader's death. An announcer appeared in Iran television deliver the news of Supreme Leader Ayatollah broke down in tears as he read the statement. Iran confirmed the death of his leader early Sunday local time, a day after the U.S. Israel strike on the country began. They have announced the 40 days of mourning following the Khamenei's death. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be tons of stuff coming out about this. Yeah. Yeah, there's different mixed reactions. Some people believe, some people are for or against it. People don't always know the exact motives of what all these different wars are about. Seemed like the people there didn't really like the regime, and as I said, I just wish them all the best in their nation. That could all go well. Okay. Now detailing this part. Alright, so AI robots in China, by the way, we'll see this part is China is currently the world's most aggressive adapter to the manufacture of AI power robots, installing nearly 50% of the world's industrial robots annually. Country has transitioned from basic mechanical automation to embodied intelligence, where AI driven humanoid robots perform complex tasks like martial arts, household chores, and factory work. Key advancements and recent debuts. Chinese firms are rapidly closing the gap with Western leaders like Boston Dynamics by following mass production and cost efficiency. Unitree G1, a widely recognized model capable of backflips, kicks, and kung fu routines. That's what Moki and I were talking about earlier. Advertised with the base price approximately 13,500. The Moya Droid Up, the debuted in February 2026 in Shanghai, is described as the world's first biomentic robot capable of replicating suitable human micro expressions and walking with 92 human like accuracy. Gong, a humanoid robot featuring advanced and tactical senses and dynamics, whole body control, navigating complex environments. Okay, and anyway, so China's been pretty active with these robots, and I do think it does present a concern in the long term that China is being advanced in this type of area where I don't know if the the West can be maybe behind in it, but we'll see. Okay, and specialized robotics, the Grow HR soft humanoid development, and Shenzhen can triple its size, crawl, and even walk on water. T800, the engine AI used in world's first commercial humanoid combat league, designed to gather data on durability and predatory movements. RoboCops, huh? RoboCops, definitely lots of movies and memes from stuff like that. There are robots that are in LA and different places that deliver food. It's like a little wagon and it just moves on its own. That's pretty wild. That's something else they do. Right, and RoboCop's AI powered police robots like the R1 WU001 have been deployed in cities like Shanghai and Shenzhen to manage traffic flow and public security. Chinese Chinese government has set the national goal to mass produce humanoid robots by 2025, dominate the global market by 27. Manufacturing as China produces 90% of humanoid components domestically, allowing for significantly lower prices. Some startups is 12 grand and compared to 50 grand in the Western counterparts. Labor solutions. Robots are being integrated into dark factories, fully automated plants offset aging populations and labor shortages in sectors like the elderly care and repetitive manufacturing AI generation. Chinese use humanoid manufacturing like Magic Lab are integrating advanced domestic AI models such as DeepSeek, Aliba's Quen, and Vital Dance's Dubeo and Power Robot Brains. Alright, see, explain what does Kung Fu. Right, and the ones we were talking about earlier, the Kung Fu robots, are primarily developed by the Unitary Robotics AGI bot, two leaders in China's humanoid race. These machines aren't just programmed with fixed anomalations. They use embodied AI to learn martial arts, though human observation and virtual simulations. The Kung Fu Kid, Unitree G1. The Unitree G1 is the most famous of all the groups, nicknamed the Kung Fu Kid, due to its viral martial arts demonstrations and capabilities. It can perform roundhouse kicks, punches, backflips, and hand defense techniques. Hardware. Standing at 127 to 132 centimeters. 43 degrees of freedom joints, allowing for human like flexibility and ability to recover balance instantly if pushed. Performance. In February 26th, a fleet of 50 G1 bots performed synchronized kung fu routine in Temple of Heaven in Beijing, executing flips and kicks in perfect unison. Early February 26th, robots from AG Bot gained global attention for the training alongside the actual monks at Shalom Temple. Training style. These robots, specifically the Lingzi X2 and A2 models, were filmed mimicking traditional Shalom palm strikes and horse stances alongside human monks. Hey, let's see something here. Okay, well, looks like we're back on. It went out for a second. Okay, continuing. Early February 2026, the robots from the gained global attention for their training alongside the actual monks at the temple, and these robots, specifically Link CX and A2 models, were filmed mimicking traditional Sheholin stances, palm strikes, and horse stances alongside the human monks. The project explores using robots as learning tools, preserve cultural techniques, and analyze the precision of complex human physical skills. The Sword of Grandmaster, a more advanced full-sized model called the H2, debuted during the 2026 Spring Festival and Gala. It performed as Sword Grandmaster, executing a choreographed routine with a traditional Chinese sword and finishing with classic fist clapping material arts salute. These robots aren't manually keyframed, instead, they are using a process called Sim2Real. Motion capture engineers record real martial arts movements using sensors and video virtual training. A digital twin the robot practices these moves in physical simulator millions of times via reinforcement learning. Okay, we have that explained. All right, so let's go to this part. Okay, so I'm going to show on the screen what these things do exactly. It's quite fascinating. Okay, well, it's also kind of scary at the same time. I'm scared. Alright, shots of the spaceship cats. Alright. All right, this is them. These are the robots that we're talking about. Okay, and they perform the kung fu and different things in complete unison with each other. Much more advanced looking than the Terminators. So it's like an interesting concept at the same time. If they went rogue, it would be, going against everybody. So yeah, that's what they're working on over there, and I guess we certainly would need to catch up with them. All right, so yeah, that's in China. Okay, going to look at some parts of this trial of showing yesterday. Let's go here.
I am a principal managing partner at Financial Forensics.
Is this a company that you started?
Yes, it is.
And when did you do that?
Officially in, I think, 2012, that business, but I for about 35 years.
What's the nature of your business?
I look at, most I get is forensic accounting, and this work is cases where there are allegations of fraud or missing or misappropriated funds, of bank transactions, and casework like that.
And how long have you been doing that?
35 years next month.
Do you have an undergraduate degree?
I do.
What is it in? And what about a graduate degree?
I have an MBA.
Or
Examiner. I also am
not? We're a defendant?
in 2019.
Yes.
In 2019, two properties listed. One of them is the home that they were living in, and that's when the HELOC was taken out. And the other one is a different property. So I've listed.
And you've listed an amount of trust deeds for 2019. Is that right?
That's correct.
Can you explain what those are?
Trust deeds are deeds that are recorded at the county recorder's office, are memorializing or documenting an obligation or an encumbrance on a property. So this a certain amount, and that's expressed and documented in a trust deed.
Okay. Money, I guess, what was the amount of the trust deeds in 2000?
Those two trust deeds total $471,210.48.
And you've done that for 2020 and 2021 as well, right?
That's correct.
And what was the amount in 2020 of trust deeds?
2020 was $2,069,280.
On how? Okay. And 2021, what was the amount of trust deeds and that the defendant acquired?
The amount there is $6,260,458.
On how many properties?
On 13.
Do you find this significant?
Yes. On a positive note, it depicts that the business was growing and she was actively acquiring properties. I think it's noteworthy, and it's an indication that things were growing quite significantly, and sometimes that is problematic.
And why is it problematic?
But it's kind of a basic thing like in business school where growth too strong, too is challenging for a business.
Okay. Were you able to determine at the end of 2021 how much the defendant was obligated on those debts, those $6 million debts? And actually explain to me the difference. What does obligated on a debt mean?
That's a very important question and a very, very important point to understand here. I don't have access to the documents that tell me the terms of these loans. So I don't know what the interest rate is of these loans. I don't know the terms that she's agreed to for these loans. I don't know what payment is required on these loans. What I do know is these are what we colloquially call hard money lenders. And I do know on some of these what these lenders do require, and it's in the neighborhood of 12 to 15%. These are not conventional loans where there's a 30-year payment amortization. These are typically short-term loans, and the house flipping business, the fix and flip business, typically are turning those over a little so they don't need a 30-year loan. They need a shorter-term loan. So I understand what we're obligated on, but I do not know what the balance is at the end of a particular time period.
I see. You need more to make that determination. Is that right?
That's correct, and that would be the loan documents themselves, the promissory notes, and the ledger from the lenders to show what payments were or were not made and how the interest was related and other fees. Typically, these lenders have significant loan origination fees, and if payments are late, then the interest rate is higher on the late payment, perhaps default fees, things like that.
Okay. So do you have a rough estimate on what she was obligated to at the end of 2021?
Yes.
And what's that?
At the end of 2021, a little over $4 million.
Okay. And you don't know if that's you don't know what she had paid back, but you know that was what, at that point, she was obligated on.
That's was obligated on that she still owned at that time. And this is, I believe I've done a pretty good job looking for property that I don't know about.
Okay. To bank accounts that belonged to the defendant?
Yes.
And what is servicing a debt? What does that mean?
That would be a term that would explain that there's a debt outstanding and service would be the payments on that. If I have a credit card and I have a monthly.
Hello, Zero. So basically, Zero says, got your message and picture. Can you show me where on the ship you took the picture so I can answer your what is this question? Okay, Zero. So where it was taken, it was up on the third floor. Yeah, it was up by it was up. Okay, it was on the third floor in the auditorium room. But so I know you know what the auditorium room is, but it's over on the side of the hallway of it. Because it kind of looks similar to other parts of the spaceship, but that area specifically was in the auditorium in the right hallway. Yeah, I just appreciate giving us some more info about what that is. Yeah.
credit card is called servicing my debt.
Okay. And were you able to determine which debt the defendant was servicing in December of 2021, for instance?
Yes.
How much was that?
The debt payments were about $252,000 in that month. The debt payments that she made in 21, there were 4 payments, and those 94 payments totaled $252,000.
Is there anything that you found significant about those debt payments?
Yes.
What was that?
They were not to 94 individual entities. Some of them were weekly payments. For example, I know that she has an outstanding debt during that time of $5,438 that was required to be paid weekly on a debt. She has a $600 payment that is made daily for a period of time during December. And on most of those debts, the large majority of those debts are harders. Some of them are credit cards.
And this was in a account you looked at,
That's
correct?
just in one account, yes.
And do you remember what account that was?
That's the account 6577.
Okay. Were you able to determine current payments that were coming out of 6577? Did I say that number correct? Yes.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
I know of one account that she has that had sued her, and they filed suit in New York in December 9th of 2021.
Okay. But, to ask you about that, I will ask you about that one in a minute. But
Okay.
were you able to look at the bank account and determine whether or not she was current on her payments or whether her payments were going through correctly?
If she was current on her payments, I can say about those payments that several of them did not clear the bank. And
Why was that?
she was in the negative in that account for a good part of that month. She was $22,000 in the hole for a good part of that month.
So you noticed that, at least for that account in that month, that some of the payments to the hard money lenders were not going through?
That's correct.
Okay. Did you notice any charges for overdraft fees or anything like that?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what did you notice about that?
They were $25 each, and sorry, I don't recall what the cumulative number is for that, but there were dozens.
Okay. Now I want to ask you, you said that there was a lawsuit that you were familiar with out of New York.
Yes.
Can you explain what you found out about that?
So in that case, they did file the agreement, and so from that, it's that Ms. Richens used receivables of $87,000 are her potential revenue. It's performed or earned, and she's expecting to her company as revenues. So that's $87,000 that's stated in the case, in the document that they filed with it. And that agreement also says that she's borrowing $60,000 against that $87,000 at 15%. So spells out the terms of the she's to make weekly payments of $5,438 that is paid.
Do you know lawsuit was brought, or what the document about why the lawsuit was brought?
According to the complaint, which is the other side's version of what happened, that she made payments of about $1,000, so that would be a little shy of 4 payments, and Then after that, she defaulted.
Okay. And when was that lawsuit filed?
December 9th, 2021.
So we talked a little bit about the bank account. Do you know where the K. Richens Realty bank account, what the bank is?
Where they banked?
Where they banked?
Yes. That's
What
it.
is that?
America First Credit Union.
Okay. And were there America First Credit Union accounts that you were able to look at?
Yes.
And when were you able to look at that?
Over this past.
Okay. How many accounts did you get access to?
Or 12?
Okay. Were some significant?
Yes,
Were some not?
that's correct.
Okay. I'm going to ask you specifically about each of these in order. Not each of them, but a couple of them in order. There's this, the 6577, is that right?
That's correct.
And that was the K. Richens Realty, right?
That's the account, and that's, as far as I can tell, that's primarily the transactions were housed.
And you said primarily the lending payments?
Primarily there.
Okay. And that one ended up in negative 2,200.
22,000.
22,000. That's, I'm sorry, you're right, 22,000. Did you look at 2204?
Yes.
What primarily was that?
That's the joint account, so we would call that a personal account. It's a joint account. It's held jointly with Eric and Corey Richens.
Anything account to you?
Yes.
What was that?
Well, it's important to me to look at of the account leading up to a significant. Important to understand the nature of an account, and so 2020, long before the period that's relevant specifically in this case, or that is people are concerned about, to understand what the nature is. The character of that account, how is it used, and what's typical for a particular account holder. It may be different for every person and every. I looked at this account, and typically is account that is used to pay credit cards and kids' expenses and family expenses. That.
Okay. As you reviewed the account?
Yes, as we get to the time period that's relevant here, which is like the months leading up to Eric's death, I would term that, and then what happened after. There's between accounts and amongst accounts. I can see, Eric's payroll coming into that account. I can see there are some deposits or transfers, I guess should say, from K. Richens Realty, payments going back to K. Richens Realty. There's marked increase in the number of transactions that occur in the account and all of.
Okay. So you actually around in that account, say, late 20. Why is that significant? Why do you find that significant?
Well, I'm looking for what's typical or what makes sense. And so I'm looking at, what's happening in the business account, and does that influence what happens in the personal account? Happening in the acquisition of properties and how those move together. And so there's this crescendo that happens in the months leading up to Eric's death. There are indicators
let's begin.
All right, Zero, understood. Thanks for letting me know. Okay. Yeah, shout out to the spaceship cats. Meow. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, just the video I was playing was too choppy, and I can't really find another one that isn't choppy, so it is what it is. Whatever. Anyway, uh, let's let's go here. Yeah, yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, definitely. All right. The distinct concepts of involving alleged government secrecy, ranging from the classified historical intelligence projects to modern corporate ventures and unverified fringe theories. Historical intelligence. Okay, let's see. I bring that up because a lot of is connected loosely and directly to MK Ultra. Okay, thank you, thank you. Historical intelligence 90. It's 70s to 95. The Stargate project was a secret U.S. Army unit established to investigate the military potential of remote viewing and purported psychic ability to see distant sights or events. It was terminated in 1975 after the CIA concluded it was not useful for intelligence operations. Modern AI infrastructure. Stargate is also a name for a massive 500 billion AI infrastructure venture announced in 2025 by OpenAI, SoftBank, Oracle, and MGX. Project aims to build a network of data centers across the U.S. to advance artificial intelligence. Zero says all these stacks and files of information that people don't want to know exist, and how the U.S. Gov got rid of the information. Ah, okay, yeah, because they definitely are censoring information and hiding things that are going on. Yeah. Modern AI infrastructure. Stargate is also the name of massive 500 billion AI infrastructure venture announced in January 2025 by OpenAI, SoftBank, Oracle, and MGX. The project aims to build a network of data centers across the U.S. to advance artificial intelligence. Pop culture. The term is most famously associated with the Stargate military science fiction franchise. And, there's also about ancient portal of interstellar travel, which is interesting from pop culture. Zero says not useful, which means people can remote view locations, but the ability isn't able to be used by warfare directly. Ah, okay. Okay. The claim alleged whistleblowers like Tony Rodriguez, Corey Good, and Randy Kramer claim they were recruited into a secret military program involving 20 years of service on off world bases such as Mars and the Moon. Age regression. At the end of 20-year tour, participants are purportedly age regressed and sent back to time to the exact moment they were originally taken, with their memory suppressed. Doesn't mean it's not doesn't mean it's not real. It states not usual, not false. If you'll think, it means false. Yeah, it's just a lot of psychological mind tricks they use to try to convince people something that isn't true, you know. But they'll use it in a negative type of word or a doubtful word to raise reasonable doubt to somebody. Right? It's very well done. Yeah. Sinus, there is no empirical evidence, which I believe there is empirical evidence, but they claim that there's no empirical evidence of widely characterized myth making. But we know from the facts we could see in the modern day of what's going on that there's definitely something there and happening. Think about it for a moment. 1986 plus 22 is 2008. There is something there. Ah, right. Right. Yeah, 2008 would mean something, in my opinion. Right. Yeah. All right, so these are some of the declassified findings. Think about 22-year span that can be reverted. That's an interesting concept to think about. Yeah. Because that seems to be would be a code number and a subliminal message about something. U.S. government spent over 20 million over 2 decades to investigate anomalies, cognitive remote viewing before CIA officially terminated the program. 1990 plus 22 equals 2012. Yeah, we were looking at one of the UFO exposings, and we saw that concept. And 2012 was supposed to be the age of the apocalypse, and we were seeing a documentary about that. So, yeah, the 22 seems to be the key. Oh, okay, okay. Thank you for letting me know, as I see the 22-year span is noted about these different things. Yeah. 1994 plus 22 is 2016. Okay. Ah, yeah. There was an election in 2016. I know. And also 2012. Mm-hmm. Ah, that's pretty clever what you figured out there. I like that. You said like 22 is a key. Our statistic hits. The operation use reviewers found while some laboratory experiments show statistically significant results, meaning viewers correctly identified targets more often than chance. These hits were often vague and required heavy subjective interpretations, lack of actable intel. The final 1995 evaluation concluded that remote viewing never provided accountable intelligence for any military or spy operation. Notable claims. Proponents cite specific success, such as accurately describing a Soviet Typhoon class submarine before it was confirmed by satellites emerging location down the Soviet aircraft in Africa. Okay. 2020. That is interesting. 2020 is when I started more on YouTube with the live streams. I wasn't doing lives yet, but I was doing live stream groups then. That's when I got to know the different people. I I met Latina around that time in 2020. So I see 20, the number 22, and also it was a time of the plague that happened. Of the COOF 19 as we call it. So that's interesting. 22. Oh, okay. Thank you, Zero, for the puzzle pieces. I like that the number key of 22. It definitely means it does mean something. Okay, I didn't need to do what I just did. I'm going to do that right this time. It definitely means something. The different years. The 22 mark from a starting point certainly is significant. Okay. The final 95 evaluation concluded that the remote viewing never provided accountable intelligence for any military or spy operation. Notable claims. Proponents cite specific success, such as accurately describing a Soviet Typhoon class submarine. Okay, I read that. Okay, gateway process. Declassified documents also detailed the gateway process set of techniques designed to alter consciousness and exit space time through critics dismiss these subjective delusions. A 22 in the back program. Yes. Yes. If 22 and back program with the project Stargate was the box, those years are the pieces. What am I showing you? Yes. Yeah, it definitely seems like these events are correlated and put together a certain way. These certain things are happening. These events are happening in sequences. And 22, the name of the program, the back program, sort of. It's kind of like a reminds me of a time machine or some sort of a editing time warps for certain events to occur. Yeah, and it's usually of personal testimonies are from that program. Now, I am still learning about the back program, but from what I can gather, it's it seems from these personal experiences about what people had happen to them, and by collecting the information, the empirical data from all these different people, a picture can be painted of the puzzle pieces of all these events coming together. The abductions and recruitments. You know, talking more about the program. Yes, editing timed events. Right. I said that. And you know what, Zero? I saw a UFO around the time in the beginning. I saw the UFO when I was watching the show. I wondered what that meant exactly. Most of the claimants drafted as children or young adults, often through clandestine military testing schools, through family lineages with military ties. The blank slate technology. This is most controversial claims, and proponents argue that the end of the 20-year tour of participant undergoes age regression and temporal displacement. Age regression. Biological reversal of the body to back original age at the time of recruitment. Okay, and let's see. Ah, 2001. Well, that was the year of a lot of things happened in that year. That's when a lot of wars started. In 1979 plus 22. Yeah, yeah, that is another piece there. That's when the historical event happened. That was very messed up. Yeah, you did leave that part out. Biological reversal of the body back to its original age at the time of recruitment. Time travel. They insert back to the original timeline only minutes after they were taken. Memory suppression. The program allegedly uses memory wiping to ensure the participant lives a normal life. Claimants say their memories only begin to return decades later through bleed through hypnotic regression. How many have, let's see, Tony Rodriguez, he wrote the Crest Colony Duets, claiming that spent 20 years as a slave in corporate run space colony as a pilot in the German led space fleet. Randy Kramer claims he spent 17 years on Mars protecting 5 civilian colonies from indigenous Martians, 3 years on the secret spaceship, totaling 20 years. Michael Ralphie, one of the earliest to use term Raphael claims no Ralphie claims he served 20 years tour in 1976 and 1996 a secret base at Mars before being age regressed. Okay. You see how you just read what I needed you about being reinserted into a timeline, which means those in power have seen the future, which is now our past back then. Okay. So they already saw what was going to happen, and then they put us in the timeline to conform with the agenda that was wanting to be done. Okay. Interesting. In the future, which is now our past back then. Yes. Yeah, I understand. Yes. Okay, and his is 1996 plus 2022 equals 2018. You know what's crazy, Zero? When I was in high school, I used to do stuff like that. I was adding the year. I would subtract. I think I used 22 or one of those numbers, and I would subtract 9/11's year and all these different events that happened in history to come up with a numerical uh, connection to them. So that's really wild that you're telling me this because I thought about that for some reason when I was in like high school that there's some sort of a numerical correlation between these things. Okay, so it means that war has ended. Ah, okay. 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 Understood. Yes. context of these programs, the number 22 represents the total duration in years of clandestine military service, contract performance off planet, while 20 and back is a standard term. Some claimants, like Tony Rodriguez specifically, a 20-year tour plus 2 years, specialized training or adjustment periods totaling to 22 years. Years of service 20 to 22. Individuals allegedly taken from Earth and works in a secret space program, Mars, the Moon, deep space colonies, and back phase the end of the 22 years. The participant reportedly age regressed and temporarily displaced, sent back in time to jump the room or portal. Loop. This allows a person to live those 22 years in space but repair on Earth just minutes after they originally left, effectively erasing those 2 decades from the standard Earth timeline. 22 represents the lifetime of experience that is physically missing from their earthly medical records and history, often only remembered later through hypnotic regression. All right, and yeah, very cool, very cool. This is excellent stuff. In narrative, the time travel element is what closest the loop is explained not as a journey to a random point in history, but as a precise temporary return to sender protocol. Zero time reinsertion. The core claim is that technology allows zero time travel. This means that you speed 20 to 22 years living, working, aging on a colony like Mars or Caesar's. You return to Earth at the exact same minute and day you originally taken. Result: to your family, friends you never left. You might have walked into your bedroom at 9 p.m. and walked back at 9:01. By the time your personal timeline, 22 years have passed. Zero, I completely agree with you 100%. That there's technology that they're not telling us about that is in beta form. I think we're way more advanced than they tell us, and I'm sure there's technologies that they don't let us know about. Especially when I talk to AI about the time travel and traveling to different stars. Like there's one night we're talking about traveling to Mars and traveling to Orion's belt, and they talk about how it's done, but we don't have the technology yet. But they still know how it's done though. So like they give you like the blueprint about how you do it, at the right equipment and bending time and space rather than going through it. So yeah, I do think that it's there. They just don't tell us about it, and there's stuff that's already in beta testing that will be released 20 years from now or so. So I do think that is absolutely correct that we're more advanced than they let us know about. Zero said, imagine what is being used that we don't know about. The things they keep from us is what keeps me up at night, and not the lack of knowing what is, but I know things exist. Especially those that you're aware of that are mind-boggling. That is something we people should know about. Yeah, I could see that being spooky. Yeah. Scared. Because they do keep a lot of information from us, in my opinion, definitely. All right. Temporal displacement and age regression. The time travel in this program is inseparable from age regression. Biological reset. If you surge from age 20 to 42, the program cannot simply drop 42-year-old man back into 20-year-old life. The process. The claimants describe being placed in med beds or pressurized pods that supposedly roll back the biological clock using frequency based technology. This reverts to the biology to its physical state at the age of 20 while theoretically keeping the mind's experience intact through usual suppression of memory wipes. I guess that's that expression of being an old soul that you had experience from somewhere else, but then you came back to your state. The jump rope technology. The method from time travel is often described as a jump rope, origin popularized by whistleblower Andrew Bezigo, who claimed to be part of the project Pegasus in the 1970s. Mechanism. He described a radiant energy portal or holographic curtain that folds space time by walking through this curtain in a jump room allegedly hidden in an office building or military bases. Users instantly transported across distance and time. Some claimants suggest that the time is not linear but holographic, meaning all points in time exist simultaneously. The technology simply retunes the person's frequency to the specific address of their original timeline. Avoiding paradoxes, a common question is why don't you run into yourself? The theory suggests because back programs involved re emerging the person with their younger self at the moment of departure. There is no double the person walking around, it is replacement of the younger version of older but regression version. In a context, let's see, cause Erev mirrors represent alleged hardware side of these phenomena. The device is designed to manipulate the flow of the human consciousness. What are the mirrors? These mirrors is typically a Cosierver mirror, typically spiral or concave structure. Made of polished aluminum. The device is named after Soviet astrophysicist Nikolai Kozyerev, who theorized that the time is a form of energy rather than just linear progression. Okay, interesting. The theory. Cable Kaiserov believed that time had been has physical properties like density and flow that is that it connects all points in the universe instantly. Design. The mirrors are built to focus this time and energy by placing a person inside an aluminum spiral. The device supposedly shields them from external electromagnetic noise while concentrating their own biological torsion fields or time energy. Reported effects. The experiments in the 1990s Russian scientist Vilal Kazanchayev and Alexander Chalmanov conducted experiments in the Arctic using these mirrors, reporting results that sound like scenes from the Stargate. Enhanced ESP. Participants inside these mirrors reportedly experience a boosted telepathy, clairvoyance, temporal anomalies. Some volunteers claim to see past events, glimpses of the future, or suggest the mirrors could act as portals for the mind traveling through time. Physical phenomena. Scientists reported seeing luminous objects, disc-shaped lights, and balls of energy around the lab during the sessions. In a nutshell, it is more or less about blocks any frequency from interfering with your reflective frequency. Okay, thank you. Physical phenomena. Scientists reported seeing luminous objects, disks, shape, lights, and balls of energy around the lab during sessions. Psychological effects. Many users reported intense sense of dread, nausea, or feeling the presence of standing near them. Any equals most. Okay. While the official Stargate project focused on remote viewing without hardware, the 2022 back community often points to Kozyarev's theories as science behind their claims. Age regression. The idea that time malleable force that can be focused by geometry is foundation used to explain how someone could be sent back to their original timeline. Shielded environments. Claimants of the secret space programs often describe the jump rooms or med beds as having the same metallic, reflective, and frequency shielded characteristics of the Kozyrev's experimental setups. And since your frequency is reflected, it becomes enhanced. Okay. Thank you for explaining that to me. It's a physical energy that can be focused. The counting of time is a human creation. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that. And by creating that, that's how that was made. It was made by continuing the human beings continuing to try to map out time, but time is something beyond our understanding. Right, because I could see where it defies our laws of physics and our common sense, because it's beyond our sense in general. A mirror function, simple metal reflectors, portals in the noosphere of other times. 0. Now take everything we just spoke about in these last few moments, and what is the picture of the puzzle that I'm showing you, Alien? Well, I think that something that I'm just thinking about is that we can be in a simulation of some sort, or we could even be at this very moment being part of an experiment of some kind. And the concept of time travel to people in the future already exists, and we are in their past, and they knew the future, and they hypothetically can have the technology to implant people and move things around to fit some sort of timeline that they want to desire. There's another factor of different programs that exist, sort of like the dots connecting in the future, the everything falling into place because people in the future already programmed it to be the way it is. And there's people that could be on other planets that 22 years on another planet, then they're brought back to their body at the right time, without them even noticing anything, because they had the technology to do stuff like that. So there's just really things in this world. The unseen is something we just don't know about, and these possible answers to some of these questions really blows your mind about why people want to stay up all night and wonder about these things. So yeah, I just think that everything is seems to be fixed a certain way that was beyond our control, and we could connect the dots looking back with these numerical equations. All right, and it just says, okay, you led me to floor 9 smiles, and how we get to floor 10. Okay, so the way we get to floor 10, in my opinion, is so we already set the foundation for floor 9, and the next step is continuing, I would say continuing on and observing how things go over time to eventually break the matrix, if that's even possible. And if it was set to break the matrix, it would have happened. They already would have predicted that would happen. So that's what I would say. And having those that are already awake about this, that may have already experienced this, would join in and revealing more about what's going on in their own experiences. I would say that would be the ultimate floor 10. And people that don't know anything about this or not connected with this would not know about Stargate or Back 22 because they were not part of the program. and as I'm doing these observations about these learnings I'm doing. Right, and because there's theories about some of these visitors from other planets are actually time travelers, and it's like because they already know the future because they're already there, and this is the past. Yes, personal introspection, right? You see, Zero, it's kind of like being in the Truman Show. That's what it's like. It seems. All right, and it's the key to finding the door to floor 10. Yes, and that key is very important because we know that 22 unlocks seems to be a key of a kind to figure out when these certain events happen throughout history. And let's see this out of curiosity. I think that 22 is a lot age where a lot of people start out with different stuff. Now 2048 is 22 years from now. So we'll see what happens then. Yeah. And I don't have all the answers and I'm still learning, but I would say 22 has to do the number 22 has to do with the key of whatever it is, of how to get to floor 10. Truman, Terminator, and the Matrix had a very strange three-way baby known as reality. Facts, well said. It's like everything in life was like orchestrated a certain way. Like it all fell into place a certain way. Like it was put there on purpose. Like you were talking about 2008 and I'm thinking 2020 and I see how the dots connected where I knew these people in these different live streams and here we are now. And other things besides that on a bigger scale is that's when the economic crash happened in '08 on a broader scale, and that's when the swine flu happened. And 2020 is where there's another financial collapse, and there was the COVID-19 that happened on a much broader scale than an individual experience. It's an interesting thing to think about. Hey, runs after you. 2030 has to pass first. Ah, okay. 2030. 2030 is a key. I'm getting a little bit too ambitious. Yes. 2030 is the key. And let's see what that is. And that was 2000. In 2030, 22 years, 28, 2008, 22 years is 2030. So 2008 is the key to floor 10. I haven't come across someone that can see beyond 12/31/2049, which is very strange. But yes, 2040s will be another decade where we will seem to slow down, but actually will progress quickly. Like 2020s is now. I'll see seem It'll seem 2030 will have a lot of advancements, but it's just things they're finally giving us. They're giving us the crumbs, so to speak. Yeah, I see what you're saying. And that's pretty much how the 2040s and 2030s will work out. Right, I see. Good, good. Now you're noticing the past as the future and the present as an illusion. Yes, yes, I am. I am. I'm getting red pilled. Yeah, it's it's a complete illusion. The present, because that's the concept of time. That's why a lot of the philosophies I learned is that the time is a complete illusion because the present moment is a present because the future and the past haven't happened because here is now. But the future, right? The present is an illusion, and the past and the future just are patterns of the same thing. Hello, Doe. Great to see you. Welcome to the stream. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Zero. Yeah. And Doe, I hope you're having a nice day. Um, Thanks for hanging out with us. Let's see. Well, thank you, Zero. This one, 95 seconds. If you'd like to see what I'm saying, conclude the lesson I just showed you. Okay, thank you. Okay. I have both links saved. Okay. Let's see. It looks like that was the decline. Microsoft lawsuit. Okay. I noticed you was getting close to your limit, so I brought you right to the edge of it, Smirk. So okay. And I'm sure there's a bunch of rabbit holes that would be difficult to fathom for me at the that you know about. It's almost as if like you saw the future and the past and the present in a way. Okay, thank you. Okay. Yeah, so I do think there is truth to this, what you're saying about the time travel and everything has been just placed in this time a certain way than what we were originally told. Yeah. And Zero, thank you for telling me about all this. It definitely opened my eyes about what's going on. It's like they always talk about defying the matrix with getting fancy cars and uh, hustling, but you Zero are truly uh, breaking the matrix. Yeah. It goes back to you need to know this to comprehend this. Without the information you just acquired, that about 2 minutes isn't as useful. Okay, understood. And it's something that most people will never even think about, but it's something I must learn even more about as time persists and goes on. Because so there is Project 22, Back 22, and there's also the other one, Stargate, which has to do with time travel for those that are just coming in. Yes, you are Darth Neo. Yeah. Facts. More have seen Darth Sir Ferdinand, though. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. So, and more explanations about this is here. All right. So, for those that are just coming in, when you connect the Stargate project with 20 slash 22 in back narrative, you are looking at the intersection of documented military history and high level conspiracy with our lore, which I believe is facts. The Stargate, let's see, explaining a transportation hub. Is it just a psychic ability? It's a physical device, jump rope or portal, the Mars connection, and the role of the mirrors. The original Stargate project proved that human mind can travel to distant places through remote viewing. The Clausewitz mirror theory suggests that physical hardware can amplify this. SSP claimants argue that military took the psychic findings of the 70s and 80s and mechanized them, creating the portals used in the 22 back program. Right, and Zero says, when you remind me later, I'll send you analysts and assessments of the gateway process of the page most are missing so you can read it on a show one day. Oh, okay, thank you. I will do that. We have declassified files happening, but it was largely considered failure intelligence gathering. That's another rabbit hole, and it'll cause most brains to melt. Ah, okay. Right. Back folklore, whistleblower testimony. There is zero physical evidence, however, it remains a massive cultural phenomenon within the UFO community used to explain there are no missing person reports for these secret soldiers. Project Pegasus. The stuff I showed you tonight is about a tier 2 to 3. That document is tier 7 or 8. Okay, so there's even a higher level for me for another time. Okay, understood. Many theorists notably claim that Stargate technology was perfected under Project Pegasus. The technology they allegedly used Tesla's teleportation base on paper found at Nikola Tesla apartment after his death. The theory this involves radiant energy, a form of energy that creates a wormhole and fabric of span time. Child participants. The claims children were used because they were more mentally flexible and could handle the psychological shock of being in two places at once. The idea that a secret group, military, corporate, or scientific elites has separated itself from the rest of humanity. The colonies. They allege that established bases on the moon, Mars, and Stargate technology the draft because they need labor and security but cannot reveal their existence to the public. They draft people for 22 years, use them, and then reinsert them back into society, into using age regression, timeline loop. No one tier is ever missed. Project Pegasus and Majestic 12, M12, yes, that's when you go down from floor 5 to floor 6 and get lost. That's why I showed you the secret route back to floor 2 down to floor 8. Oh, okay, understood. Okay. Okay, these theories suggest that the past, present, and future all simultaneously. And the theory mirror of the Stargate isn't moving you through space, it is turning your frequency into a different track CD, and you can tune the permission biological frequency. Memory wiping claims that LRH, long range hypnosis, or electromagnetic brain simulation blank slate participants before sending them back. Glitch. However, they claim the human soul or a cellular memory cannot be fully erased. Triggers. People report having dreams of being on Mars or feeling like they have two lives in their heads. The sensory deprivation tasks mirrors they try to unlock these 22 years hidden memories. The 22 and back program is the perfect crime. No missing persons because the return to the moment you left. No aging because you return the age you left. No whistleblowers because their memories are wiped. Wow. People wouldn't even know if they were in the experiment. Okay, so thank you, Zero, for explaining that to me. Let's look at this. All right. Hello, Bubbles. All right. All right, and as I said, thank you, Zero, for this. This is very very fascinating stuff. And I do believe I believe it's true. Also, okay, and Zero, if there is not anything else, I the stream will be over for the night. But if you had anything else, I'd like to hear it. We finished the different topics we were going to talk about. Okay, Zero, I will look at it and get the deeper meaning and guidance from it. So think, yeah, you have a good night too, Zero, and everyone have a good night. Thank you all for coming, and peace.